أطلقت شركة تومسون رويترز عبر منصة القمة العالمية للحكومات جائزة أفضل وزير في العالم، وتركز جائزة أفضل وزير في العالم على 4 محاور في اختيار الفائز، وهي الابتكار في القيادة، مستوى ومدى التأثير للمشاريع التي أطلقها الوزير الفائز، سهولة وقدرة تطبيق تلك المشاريع في الدول الأخرى، وسمعته في دولته وخارجها. Your Highnesses, distinguished guests of ladies and gentlemen, using the World Government Summit as its global platform, Thomson Reuters has launched the Best Minister in the World Award. كان الدافع الرئيسي وراء إطلاق هذه الجائزة هو خلق قدوة للمسؤولين الحكوميين حول العالم، وتتكون لجنة التحكيم لهذه الجائزة من أعضاء من مختلف المنظمات الدولية، منها البنك الدولي ومنظمة التعاون الاقتصادي والتنمية وشركة إرنست أند يونغ وإستراتيجي أند كو وغيرها. Ladies and gentlemen, the award focuses on 4 key aspects which comprise selection criteria for the conferment of such an award. They include those of innovative leadership, quality, and impact, each of replication and reputation in relation to the candidate and his or her work. The award was judged by independent third parties from esteemed organizations such as the World Bank, the OECD, Ernst & Young, Strategy & Co, among others. وأما الآن حضورنا الكريم، يشرفني دعوة صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم نائب رئيس الدولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء حاكم دبي، ومعالي محمد القرقاوي رئيس القمة العالمية للحكومات، والسيد نديم نجار من تومسون رويترز لتكريم أول وزير يفوز بجائزة أفضل وزير في العالم. And now, it gives me great pleasure to invite to the stage His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister, and Ruler of Dubai, Mr. Nadeem Al Najjar from Thomson Reuters, and His Excellency Mohammed Al Gargawi, the head of the summit, to present the award. حضورنا الكريم، كان لدى الوزير الفائز أكبر الأثر في تخفيض مستويات التلوث الكربوني في بلاده، حيث قام ومن خلال المبادرات التي أطلقها بخفض معدل التلوث بأكثر من 93 مليون طن من الكربون. قدم هذا الوزير المتميز أيضاً بإطلاق مشاريع كثيرة ساهمت في الحفاظ على البيئة المرجانية، خفض التلوث في المياه، والحفاظ على البيئة البرية في دولته. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this award today has played a crucial role in reducing carbon emissions in his country, launching initiatives that reduce carbon emissions by 93 million tons. He has also launched various key initiatives to safeguard natural coral wonders, reduce water pollution, and save the land environment. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Best Minister Award in the world goes to the Honorable Mr. Greg Hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Mr. Greg Hunt, Minister for Environment from Australia. حضورنا الكريم، الآن مع كلمة للوزير الفائز. And now for the acceptance speech by the Minister.
Your Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and Ruler of Dubai, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Let me begin with a heartfelt thank you, and in particular, I acknowledge both His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and Thomson Reuters for this award. On a personal level, I am genuinely humbled to receive the award. I am, however, deeply proud that this inaugural award is being presented to an Environment Minister. The environment is our common heritage, our land, our home, and our identity. As an Australian, I also see this as a recognition of the profound work that Australia has done in the environment space, and I thank you for that. Today, at this magnificent World Government Summit, I applaud the UAE's vision to be one of the most innovative nations in the world. Indeed, within the environment, the UAE is promoting innovation in the renewable industry while supporting research in clean technology. There are great challenges. However, I am fundamentally optimistic. In that context, we all learn from each other. And perhaps there are some policies and programs we have in Australia that may be of interest, both domestically and internationally. Australia has a relatively small population of 24 million people, but we are an island continent with a unique environment that is fragile and beautiful. For this reason, we have had to implement innovative policies, technologies and business practices to protect and improve our national environment. When we came to government, the Great Barrier Reef was listed as possibly being on track to endanger by the World Heritage Committee. That was not an outcome either I or my country were prepared to see, and I'm pleased that we have overseen new and unprecedented protections of the world's Great Barrier Reef. We took 4 major steps to help turn around the health of this reef. We ended plans for 5 massive dredge disposal projects in the Great Barrier Reef's waters. We banned the 100-year practice of dredge disposal in the magnificent waters of the reef. We developed and put in place our Reef 2050 long-term plan, and we provided $140 million Australian for a reef trust which will invest in projects with a focus on improving water quality. These efforts resulted in the World Heritage Committee declaring only last July that Australia was a global role model for the management of our World Heritage properties. In addition to the sea, though, we know that cities with high levels of trees and green space provide enormous benefits to their residents, to our citizens. In Australia's cities and regional areas, we're seeing a real boost to this thanks to a program we've established called the Green Army. More than 5,000 young Australians are involved in teams of up to 10. They are learning skills as well as restoring and protecting habitat, weeding, planting, cleaning up creeks and rivers and restoring cultural heritage places. Young Indigenous Australians in particular are beneficiaries. We've also committed to planting, Your Highness, 20 million trees by 2020, with almost 10 million trees already contracted for planting over the next 3 years. And we're protecting Australia's native wildlife from feral pests with the appointment of Australia's first Threatened Species Commissioner. And we're streamlining our environmental laws to remove unnecessary duplication between state and federal processes while delivering better environmental outcomes. In addition, though, crucial to our quality of living is the quality of the air we breathe. Australia's air quality, fortunately, remains very good by world standards. However, as with everywhere, there are ongoing challenges, and that's why, working with our states and territories, we've created our first ever national clean air agreement. And this means our air will be cleaner and our health will be better. In addition to a strong focus on clean air, Australia is tackling climate change. We exceeded our first Kyoto target. We're well on track to meet and beat our 2020 target. Beyond that, our 2030 target of -26% to -28% lifts our ambition further. Crucial to achieving this, though, is the deployment of innovative environmental policies, including the government's landmark Emissions Reduction Fund. At its essence, the fund can be described in three simple steps: credit, purchase, and safeguard. We learnt from the United Nations Clean Development Mechanism, which has registered over 4,000 projects. Secondly, the government purchases the credits it creates using a competitive reverse auction, which acquires the lowest cost emissions reduction. It's allowing us to achieve our goals. Across the first two auctions alone, over 93 million tonnes have been reduced at a cost of $13 Australian per tonne. We then set an emissions budget for our largest firms to safeguard against any emissions rebound. And one key point about Australia's domestic climate change policies is that we've shown it's possible to significantly reduce emissions without hurting our economy or putting extra strain on the lowest income earners. Crucial for reducing our emissions is also greater adoption of renewable energy. Australia is fortunate to have 2.4 million solar homes covering 15% of the country, the highest in the world. Driving this growth is a renewable energy target that will require the same amount of large-scale renewable energy to be built in the next 5 years as has been built over the entire last 15. And in recent months, both the Prime Minister and myself have made it clear to the world that Australia is open for renewable investment. Beyond our climate, Australia is also known for its livable cities. Each year, our cities have been fortunate to appear at the very top of international rankings. My own city, Melbourne, has topped The Economist's ranking as the most livable city in the world for 5 years in a row. But against that background, I'm excited tomorrow to visit Masdar City's sustainable designs and technologies and to see how they could be fitted into Australia's own urban landscape. So we must be innovative in our cities, and therefore I am pleased to announce that the Australian Government will provide $250 million to help finance affordable, energy-efficient housing for our low-income earners. Thank you. This brings me to a possible common global environmental agenda based on our shared planet. In November last year, the UAE hosted the Montreal Protocol discussion aimed at both protecting our ozone layer and reducing global emissions. Australia was delighted to support the UAE in producing a breakthrough Dubai roadmap to phase down HFCs and to save the world an astonishing 90 billion tonnes of emissions by 2050. Our common global agenda now should be to secure a fair, equitable agreement which will implement the Dubai roadmap. And now to the great global challenge of climate change. The Paris Climate Conference was a success. It created a pathway and a platform for global action. However, the real task is to deliver on the pledges. In that context, deforestation is one of the major contributors to the world's greenhouse gas emissions. Only in 2014, Australia hosted the Asia-Pacific Rainforest Summit that brought together regional ministers and technical experts. Out of the summit came a plan to halt and reverse the decline of our regional rainforests. Today, I would like to propose that the world works towards a global rainforest recovery agreement. This agreement would be about incentives to help protect the great forests of the world and to act as a storehouse of the world's terrestrial carbon. And just as rainforests have an incredible capacity to absorb greenhouse gases, so too do the great mangrove swamps of the world. Indeed, the UAE has been a pioneer in mangrove or blue carbon conservation with its benefits of emissions reduction and marine biodiversity. I am therefore delighted to announce that we will work together with the UAE on helping create an international partnership for blue carbon. The partnership will aim to accelerate action on protecting our great mangrove systems, and we invite other countries to work with us. In conclusion, thank you to the UAE and in particular to His Highness for his work in hosting this truly valuable World Government Summit. Our work as ministers may seem hard some days, but it can be deeply meaningful. We could not do it without our departments or our officers, and I have been magnificently supported by both. In the end, though, I am optimistic that we can achieve our goals. I am optimistic because of the lessons that my father taught me about the value of a vision supported by a plan. I am optimistic because of the lessons my mother taught me about community, because of the determination I learnt from my friend and mentor Alexander Downer. And I am optimistic because of the support I have had from 2 successive Australian Prime Ministers. Above all else, though, I am optimistic because as husband to Paula and father to Poppy and James, I can see the same inviolable truth that all parents see. In the end, humanity and the environment are both fundamentally worthy and both fundamentally linked. Shukran.